Hey everybody, welcome back to our Self Reliance. I'm on my sister's homestead right now. The morning after we played with this fencing back here, these split rail cedar posts and rails. So I think what's happened is we've decided that will be the layout or form of that cedar rail fence. It's going to take 7 rails to get it high enough to be suitable for cattle fencing. It's also just gravity held right now, so those corners will have to get wired. And then I think probably upright posts in each corner on the outside of the fence where to stop cattle from pushing against it. But I think also what it's going to require is a strand of electrified fence, solar powered fence. Not fence, probably just one strand, either the rope or a wire, either on standoffs or with little metal posts in the ground to stand it off from the fence so they don't push up against the fence. I don't think it's going to be goat proof at all, but you'll have to consider that for dairy goat containment around the barn. So we'll see how that fleshes out. My ideas are a little bit different than hers on the fencing of the livestock. Anyway, that first paddock should go up pretty quickly with enough of us working on it. That's just under an acre. I think I measured it out at about 0.7 acres of an acre. So that'll be paddock number 1, and then we're going to continue going down to the southeast, and then eventually down to the south and southwest here. So it'll be probably 5.5 acres of fence paddocks. And what we agreed on is back corner over here is that beyond the fence, beyond the paddock, there's a pretty decent area there to have a food plot for deer. They tend to use that trail coming out of the forest there anyway, and so do the moose, probably bear and wolf too, but especially the deer to come into this field to feed. So if I plant an actual plot that contains vegetation that they prefer, that'll sort of concentrate them up there for hunting. Everybody in the family essentially has got a hunting license now, so we can harvest within reason a decent amount of deer off of the 3 properties and the surrounding public properties. But that's going to just be a constant management issue. I'll have to assess the population through trail cameras, visible sightings, and wintering and all that kind of stuff. I'll figure out the populations anyway and what the sustainable level of harvest would be. It's typically around 10% of the animals that exist in the area. I think Callie will go for this one. You won't take this one though, you want the better one. So yeah, I'll have to manage that and sort of be the hunting consultant for the family. Nobody leave it. This is a full-time job, exercising these dogs or keeping them busy. Anyway, this is it. This is her dream. This is her homestead, permaculture homestead, I would call it, because of the principles that she's using to manage it. So for the wait and observe and be patient part, she's jumping right in and getting things done, which is great. So that vegetable garden area is fully fenced now, so the deer can't get in there and feed on the crops or the apple trees. Oh, you guys. This fencing here will be for the couple of steers. I think what we'll start off with, a steer each, just to raise them like it's essentially like a stalker. We'll get a couple of calves. If we can get some calves now, which is a good time. They're usually cheaper now because people are offloading or downsizing their herds before winter sets in, so they don't have to feed them all winter. But for us, it's going to take us a full year to get them to the point where they're ready for the freezer. And because this pasture isn't good, they're going to be on hay for the first year anyway. Would you guys stop? And we'll try to improve it and get some grass growing to finish them off, say next September. Try to have at least one good section that we can put them on with some fairly lush grass that they can finish off and fatten up on before we butcher them, which I'll be doing myself. The slaughter and butcher. Okay, go, 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 go. Here, Toby, leave it. Callie. Dogs are crazy, all three of them, for fetching, but they're competing too much. This is my sister's future food forest. This is a, what's this, a mulberry? Yeah, that's mulberry, 2 of them. Then there's some chestnuts and some hazelnuts that I gave her. So this is the beginning of the food forest, starting from there over through those, what's that, cherry and maple trees there. Hey, Toby, look. Toby, look at this one. No, look at this one. Callie? Callie. Holy smokes, a lot to manage. Natural or wild yarrow everywhere throughout this field, just because of the current soil conditions here. She'll change over time, get less acidic, more rich in organic material. But I think this is a great spot for this food forest. This is sloped, but that would be like almost south, slightly southwest. So really good orientation for light gathering and good food production here. And then right below the path in that section behind the camera behind you, that is going to be a whole herbal garden essentially, but in the form of like a wild meadow. So that'll be a pollinator garden as well as medicinals and herbs, like food herbs, edibles. Back there we're talking about maybe making that a future pasture or paddock that can be rotated. The cattle and or goats can be rotated through that section, and then it can be cut periodically as each section gets manured and improved as hay production, essentially forage for the animals. So you can see the fence behind us. That's the first iteration of the cat. Hey, Toby, that's the first. That's basically a template for what's going to happen for the rest of the fence. Now that's not going to be goat proof, that fence, but it will be suitable for the cattle, especially small Dexters. And at least one strand of wire or electrified rope on the interior of that to stop them from pushing up against the fence. This is the balance, this is the compromise that I've talked about with my wife and I on our homesteads, but also now with my sister, the different ideas about practicality, function versus form. I lean more towards the form side with some, or function side with some form. So in other words, aesthetics. Whereas my sister in particular likes the aesthetics. She favors aesthetics over function to some degree. So it makes it challenging to compromise, to come up with a system that's actually going to work but also look pretty. I don't blame her. It's a nice homestead, old log structures. It's nice to keep that that aesthetic going throughout this homestead. So yeah, in other words, that's going to eliminate page wire fencing, like typical what you see as field fencing, farm fencing. So it's going to have to be a combination of the two. But anyways, food forest is going to be really nice. This is the permaculture principle section, food production, as well as the vegetable garden, fruit gardens over there, and then orchard over there. Will you two stop? Holy smokes. These were put in bad time of year, but she didn't take possession of the place till this summer. So like I did with some of my plants, planting them at not a great time, including seeding this pasture. But anyway, it had to be done now. So these will recover, but even though they're suffering right now. As far as swales, like collecting water, this is dry land just like mine, and it's acidic just like mine. Toby and Sadie, take it away. So this being on a slope is an issue as far as water retention and nutrient retention for these plants. And she doesn't like swales in the permaculture sense, where you cut it basically a ditch on contour, so keep it fairly level you would measure that elevation all the way through this area, create a swale, and then have the trees planted either in the bottom of the ditch or up on the peaks, depending on what they need for moisture, and then planting other low-lying plants to stabilize that bank. Toby, don't do that. Toby, settle down. Dogs are going to kill each other fighting for that. So anyway, point being, before they get back, is that she's going to create V's on either bottom, lower level, or she's going to create V's on the downhill side of each of the things, like the trees that she plants or the shrubs, to collect water and make them like hugel mounds. So wood first, woody debris, soil, compost, fill those up. It'll catch the water as it flows downhill. It'll add nutrients here and collect the nutrients as it comes up against these little dams. And on the up slope, she's planting plants that will mine nutrients, like the comfrey that she dug up out of the old compost pile. That's upstream essentially from the plants, so that the nutrients that get mined from the deep taproot of the comfrey and other other deep-rooted vegetables or plants, the nutrients get drawn up, plants die back, or she cuts them back, and the nutrients flow downhill to the roots of this, rather than be down here and flow nutrients with water flow away from the plants. So it's a good system on a small scale when you're looking at each plant individually. Cranes that are walking around out here like they were in front of the cabin yesterday. Anyway, crazy dogs. Right now I'm going to go pick up some hay, and I'm going to bring some up to the cabin. Stockpile in different areas, because hay storage is an issue right now. That barn shelter shed thing over there is already full with 8 or 7 bales in it. The barn here, I need to get some wood from the cabin that I've milled to improve the floor, or shore up the floor, make it a little bit more even and solid for storing square bales, which we have a supply for. So we'll probably rent an elevator to get the hay up there, and then it can be thrown down at 1 bale at a time to feed the goats that'll be living in that. So for me this year, I think what I'll be mostly responsible for would be to get a shed built, a shelter for the cattle in here, help get the water line put in to get water up to them, and finish the fencing, of course, and get some gates and stuff. Okay, you crazy dogs, leave it, Toby. Toby, don't you dare pull on that. Sorry. So today what I'm doing is just letting the dogs out. My sister's on vacation with her niece and my nephews separately on vacation for a few days, and my sister for a week and a half. So we're just between my other sister and I taking care of the dogs while she's gone. And I'll do a little bit of work around here, get some trail cameras out to monitor the wildlife. Maybe do a little bit of fencing, but work on basically hay storage for now. That's it. I'm driving you crazy, I'm sure, with these dogs. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you on one of the homesteads next time. Take care. Peace is over, Callie. They're out. No, hey, nope. You don't bark. Good. Nope. Leave her. Sadie, leave it. Leave it. Toby, leave it. Good. Good. Bring it here. Toby, here. Here. Here, sit. Listen. Listen, Toby, here. Nope, nope, nope. Sit. Look at me. Look at me. You settle down, okay? Calm. You're gonna watch Callie for this one, okay? Nope, sit. No. Stay down. Stay. You watch Callie. She's getting this one. Good boy. You stay. Good. Good. Yep. No, you need to learn to calm, okay? Get a hold of yourself. Nope. Cat Toby, sit. Now. What did I say? Good. Stay. Gonna heel. Heel. Good boy. You stay. Alright. Stay.